Hey, what's up, family? It's your boy, Coach Crump here. Super excited to be on another incredible live with you on the Boy Man King podcast with my main man, Chizzy. Talk to the people,
Yizu,
Chizzy.
what's going on, man? I'm good, man. It's good to be here. It's a nice Monday, nice fresh start to the week. We had a busy last week, so we're gonna chop it up. I'm a man, Jah here. Looking forward to
Yeah,
the combo.
yeah, yeah. And give it up, man, for Jah, the voice, the one
Yeah.
and only, man. Man, brother, we thank you for being on the platform, man. On platform, thank you for blessing us with your presence, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling like, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm great. And like before, could I do something before we jump into it?
yeah. Come
'Cause
on.
I don't know what this is about, what this live is about to hold. But I just
It's
want to
love.
jump in there off the rip and just apologize.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Why? Because I was cold. Like I was
Mm.
ice cold. I look back, even at my just reflecting.
Yeah.
I was cold, and as we know, that was the day after that thing had went viral, like completely.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like I didn't want to renege because y'all my guys. So I'm not gonna renege. We already agreed on a date. We didn't know
Yeah.
it was gonna go viral, but and me being me, as y'all know, I'm vulnerable. But as
Yeah.
vulnerable as I am, that same exact day that we recorded, that was the first time I ever experienced what we call what is it? Vulnerability exhaustion.
Mm.
Mm.
Vulnerability. And I just wanted to like y'all ain't slick, yo, Chizzy, you ain't getting away, Coach Crump. You ain't getting like the way y'all poured into me, like the
Come on.
way y'all so good at what y'all do as a coach, Coach Crump,
Mm.
as a
Mm.
coach, Chiz, as mentors, as a big brother, like y'all so good at what y'all do. Y'all picked up on it, which is why that episode was like no other. Like we
It
didn't
was
even get
fire.
into the Boy Man King thing.
It was
It was
Yeah.
fire.
the episode full of just pouring of uplifting, of
Mm.
identifying like, okay, burnout, fatigue,
Yeah.
vulnerability, exhaustion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like as we could see, I almost cried at the end.
Yeah. Bro,
But
we was there, man, and you so right. And me and Chizzy was able to see it without even saying that to each other. We was like, we're not gonna do the typical tell me your story. It was just like this ain't that space,
This is
bro.
straight love. This is straight love. This is exactly what was needed. Not
And
just for
and to
you.
be yeah, and to be honest, Chizzy could tell you this. Your episode is the reason why we created the platform.
Facts.
Everything else is like on some production tip, what we got to do. But the reason, the why was
Mhm.
literally your episode. If people want to know why we created Boy Man King, look at your
That's
episode.
it. That's it, bro. That's
Chizzy,
it.
do you agree?
Hey, 100%. I couldn't agree more. And I just want to say this to you, Joe, right? I tend to believe that I wear my emotions on my sleeve. And the first thing, like before I was thinking about coming on the live today, I was like, yo, like your episode was so powerful because you was okay with just being present and demonstrating. And no matter if we're recording or not, you was just all right with just being there, being vulnerable, and showing people that these are the
Mm,
struggles that we face every day, bro.
mm,
Those two gazy cookie cutter, we're just out there trying to mentor people who got all the answers to the questions. There's none of that, man. And
mm,
I want to debunk this thing that just because we're here making a decision to walk a greater path, that we have all the answers. That there are days where we need poured into 150% more than the people that we're trying to service. You get what I'm saying? So I do want to tell you openly, thank you for that vulnerability. Thank you for allowing us and feeling comfortable in us to just
come
and
on.
comfortable with us for you to just be open and honest about how you're feeling, what you're struggling with. Hindsight's always 2020, right? So look at you now. You feel what I'm
Come on.
saying?
Yeah, he's
yo,
all
Look
bright
at
and
you.
yo,
big. I'm like, oh,
yo,
he's
like
Ja. He's Ja
I,
right now.
I said, like I told myself, I said we are not. This is not about to be another thing of Coach Crump and Coach Chizzy pouring into me. Like, if anything, I'm gonna pour into them. Yo, bro, I promise. I thought back. I said, I was thinking about you, Crump.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but last year at the conference, at the speakers conference, I had put you to the side, and it's just one of my favorite speakers at that like I ain't put nobody else to the side, but it's something. And I told you this. I don't know if you remember, but I said it's something about every time you speak, bro. Like
Mm,
you could be speaking about how to make $1 million,
mm,
but what resonates with me is the way you honor your wife. I said, forget about how to make a meal. Like you craft the whole thing, just how you on it. And dog, I watched that. And it's not just one, every time I see you speak, it's like it's the master in it.
Yeah.
And I'm feeding off that. So like just being surrounded by men like you and you, Chiz, you probably don't even know this. Last year, when I was at the Boy Man King conference, I'm pretty sure I heard you. The way you told your story, like in everything. And again, as vulnerable as I am, that gave me a space that just reassured within me as a man that it's okay to be vulnerable.
Fact,
Man, thank
facts.
you. Thank you for
Thank
sharing it.
you.
That's a great alley-oop because I do want to get your reflection, man, on another Boy Man King conference, man. We poured into you, you say that, but like try to tell the people, man, what they got, what they missed by not showing to the
Yo,
Boy Man King conference. Talk to the people, John.
where do I start? Like where we started, first of all, I'm mad because I wasn't able to, be present for the whole
Right,
thing.
right.
Because I had a lot going on, but oh my goodness. First, I don't like singing out anybody, but first of all, I want to shout out Mason, Doctor Mason West,
Dr. West.
The truth.
Doctor.
The truth West. Yeah, for sure.
Like, why are we trying to beat the odds instead of changing the?
Bruh.
That thing was the whole conference, man. Like from the time I walked in, the welcoming spirit, the open arms, the no just the huddles. And that was something special because y'all did that strategically. Y'all know I'm picking up on what y'all doing. Y'all did like y'all grouped it with the age, and so we could, I guess so we could have people to relate with. One, but I'm pretty sure there was more reason behind it. But the huddles, it was the line of speakers, the information that was given. It was something to really like reflect on. Like I'm talking about go back home and study.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up Dr. West because like he ain't stunting, he ain't on Instagram flexing, he's not popular in the social influencer world, but in the man world, and you just being who you are and where you show up in the education world, this guy is a juggernaut. And I'm like, I've been admiring him for over since '09. So what is that? It's like 15. Yeah, like 15 years. And then I did a follow-up of his mental math program at Delwood Middle School. It's a middle school in Bermuda. He created this after-school math program for boys that they had to do this math with no pencil, no paint, paper, all through like coding of numbers. And he was like, yeah, middle school black boys are great in math. And then he'll have these boys answer questions like, yo, I think I remember one of the rules was you had to split and add. Let me get this right. So let's say it's like, what's 23 times 11? And the boys be like, 253 or something like that. They be like, what? And they be doing it in 3 or 4 seconds. And he was like, they learned codes of breaking down numbers. And they was 11, 12 years old. And I was like, this guy is next level. So when he's speaking, bro, that is not something he just went and searched, for a couple of Google reviews and did some YouTube University. Mason
Definitely.
West has been an educator and empowering people with knowledge for over 30 years. And I sit at his feet. So even at that event, I'm like, he does that to your brain, bro.
Wow,
Because he gives you real information that you got to go like, I got to rethink everything I've been thinking and everything I've been saying.
Like, in truth, like, one day may not be enough. You know what I'm saying? One day may not be enough. And I know, like, shout out to Crump, because really and truly, like, he's the backbone of putting that conference together. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's the Boy Man King platform, but he works tirelessly. I don't want people thinking that he don't deserve his due for putting together the conference, for lining up the speakers, for working tirelessly to make that Boy Man King conference a success. You know what I mean? And I know he don't really like to take the shine, but I think he deserves his shine for putting together such an awesome conference that, you know, that I'm just happy and humbled to be a part of, holistically. Like, you know what I mean? So I want to give you your flowers for that, my guy.
Yeah, thank you, Chizzy. And talk Chizzy, and I want to talk to you too, man. Your dad and your son's there. You're
Yeah.
there. You're being vulnerable again. Jah, he mentioned another piece that, you know, I remember talking to some men, John, like, you know, everybody got their different pains.
Yeah.
And a couple of my guys really let me understand how ignorant and insensitive I was
Mhm.
talking about divorce about 2 years ago. And I was like, yo, it's a half of marriages end up in divorce. And
Yeah.
we talking about divorce court and child support. People not really talking about what happens to the man, like what he's
Sure.
dealing with. Like these guys are telling me it's equivalent to death. They two consistencies I was here was like it was close to death and it was like losing a death one in the family. So I'm like, how is this not being talked about now? I don't have the credibility to speak on it. And so, Chizzy, for you to be there, for you to speak on something so sensitive, to have your dad and your son, like, how was that for you, bro?
Hey man, it was a blessing. I can't. My dad, me were talking about it yesterday. He still sings the praises of the podcast. Of course, I talk to my dad every day. I talk to my son every day, obviously. But it was an amazing experience for him to share in, you know, what it is that I'm privileged to be a part of. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
I will
mm,
always look at this as an opportunity for me. In spite of the wonderful stuff, I'm humbled by the opportunity to be in spaces with yourself, in spaces with Jah, in spaces with Dr. West, with Jeremy, with everyone that participates. But for my son to be there and my dad to be there, there's some things that I obviously shared with them intimately. My son probably had never heard me talk in that light, about post-divorce. And because obviously he was directly involved in a lot
mm.
of things, stuff that comes with divorce. And so we had an opportunity to talk about some things after the conference. We sat and we went Chick-fil-A. And you know, it was nice for him to just see me in that particular light. And I know him. He's not the expressive type. He's not going to be the one to be like, yo, daddy, like I know what you was feeling like, but I definitely can see that he was processing from my perspective, you know, what it felt like. And also to hear that there's hope post-divorce. You just have to, the individual just has to be ready to be able to receive and to grow through the growth that's required post divorce. Because
Yeah,
especially when you have kids together, we will always be family. I tell her this all the time. We will always be family. I'll always be a resource to you. I always want to keep our relationship, no matter what it is, even if you're dating someone else and I have someone else, I always want to be in a space where I could be a resource to you because we have children together. And I think once you love somebody and you've been with somebody for so long, that doesn't wither away. The romantic parts may wither away, of course, but you will always have a desire for you to see that person win. And I think the rest of this stuff and you know, I can't speak to how other men feel. Of course, there's various levels of grief and various levels of grieving that men are going through post divorce. But I do believe that consciously you can make a decision to come outside a better man, a better relationship, a better individual for the sake of your children and for the sake of giving respect to that relationship in due time. So it was an amazing time for me too,
yeah,
man.
man. And Ja, I want to throw it back to you, bro, because we're talking about men overcoming some difficult, like not, you didn't plan this, you didn't draw this up. You came to us in transition of, man, this thing is getting out, but I saw your light, I saw your glow come back. You know what I mean? Like last month on social media, shout out what you're doing with Tone. I was like, oh, he back, he
It's back
back
in his
better than
day.
ever. He flexing and stunting with his wife. But the reality is, bro, like talk about how you got to endure like it's stuff that we got to do as men, where it is
Yeah,
what it is, and you still at the end of the day, all the parties involved, you got to get the work done on you so you can still show up and be the man that everybody else needs you to be in the situation. But how did you actually, you know what I mean? Like walk us
yeah.
through that a little bit. Your
Yo,
recent overcoming, you know what I mean,
it,
of some trauma and some drama.
it's just a fight. Like if I'm on, it's the fight, man. It's the fight. Like I saw my wife. If I'm completely honest with y'all, I saw my wife fight for years, right? And this is prior. This is pre-infidel. This is pre everything.
Mhm.
Mm,
Like out the way our relationship work, I'm pretty sure in many relationships, you got the fighter, and then you got let's say the calm one, the chill one.
Mhm.
Every time we used to get in an argument, I would sit back and I would give my wife that space. But
Mhm.
my wife, she would be the fighter, like, nah, we're gonna figure this thing out tonight. We're not gonna sleep on it, you feel me? We're not gonna let a week go by, nah. And then once everything happened, the tables turned. Like I put myself in a position to fight because anything worth having in this world, we know the saying, anything worth having, like it is not gonna come easy. So I knew I had to fight. And I just the more I saw myself fighting, strangely, the more I fell in love with it. Like the more my wife would distance, the more I fell in love with just fighting for her, just to win her back, just to put her back in. And I just got really good. I just became really consistent with it. Right? Every day. I know it's gonna be a fight every day, but we fight for what we love.
Yeah.
We fight. So man, it's and the feeling of overcoming at the end, like the feeling of like seeing your fruit or seeing the results of your fight. Like, dog, I conquered this.
Mm.
I wasn't fighting for nothing. Like
Sure.
these blood, sweat, tears, like it's not going in vain.
Mm.
My wife told me the other day out of nowhere, baby, thank you. Thank you for what I don't know what I did. Cheers, I don't know what I did. She said, thank you. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
But I ah, I can't I don't even know if I could explain it correctly.
Yeah.
I'm in love with it, man.
And
It's
I
what I
love it.
want.
But when
Yeah.
we fight too, Joe, kind of help us through when you first was struggling with the whole concept of accepting it, and you came on the line, and you've been on the line for about a couple of years now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like as men, sometimes it's like phases, right? Right, shit is like I gotta accept my situation. I gotta battle that. I gotta
Face to
battle
fix it.
it's
Face to
hurt.
fix it, right?
Is it, is
Face
it,
to
is
fix
it,
it.
I got to battle with, nah, but they really, nah,
Yeah.
but what
Yeah.
happened was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so you
Yeah.
got to go through this whole
Or
process
then,
of,
or then posture.
yeah, I gotta take my ego out. I gotta take my pride out. I gotta be honest with myself and be like, this is my situation. And then being honest, and this is where I see the big gap. My coach, shout out to Coach Kendall, he says everything happens in the gap. When I deal with men, it's like first step, accepting the situation you put yourself in, right? The second thing, accept help, right? Because and do something. Don't say, yeah, man, I'm looking for somebody just like the mentor. No. John, you decided, Chizzy, you decided. I want you both to speak to this.
Right.
Accepting your situation, but then you getting up on the call first thing in the morning before you do anything else to be like, I'm going to tap into some healthy, initiated, mature men, and I'm going to let that do what it needs to do to me until I figure it out. Because that says a lot about you too. That separates you from like most men in the sense of personal development, where you did one, I'm going to stop lying to myself. I'm in this situation because I put myself in this
Some guys
situation.
don't even get there. Some guys don't even get there.
Bruh, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's two huge mountains you got to climb. But I'm saying, well, I've watched both of y'all do that.
Yeah.
I've watched both of y'all go, I was the guy. I can't stunt. I can't get a bag. I can't talk to the ladies to go, you say, you know what? Damn, bro, I got myself in this situation. And I can point the finger at somebody else. I can. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to accept the reality of that. I put it in, but I also going to say, I need help to get myself out of this and back on my feet. And I'm going to put the work in. Those are huge spaces. So I want you guys to kind of talk about that, man.
You want me to go first?
Oh man, go ahead and lead the way, Cat.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's talk
obviously,
about the accepting part. Like,
right.
you're an alpha dude. Just like I know you, you're aggressive on the court. Like, what's get to be like? Because you was even you in particular more than Ja. Ja was like assessing, analyzing. Ja was like, let me see what these cats talking about. But you was like, nah, y'all tripping. So
Right.
let's get to like from the guy who's like, let me see, for the guy who's like, nah, y'all tripping because of different personality type. How do men just get to accept their plight that they help put themselves in?
I think there's a level of you have to take that. You have to take damn jabs. So I remember when I came on the line, I was uber intellectualizing the whole thing, conceptually, intellectually. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm justified. Like I'm the
Mhm.
guy. When I show up, like people listen. Like I have gravitas. I have the gift of gab. I could talk my way out of something. So how dare and I show up and I'm giving my all, like how dare you, my wife, my ex-wife, approach me on this tip, this entitlement type tip. And it takes some divine, it takes some brothers you respect. It takes some brothers sometimes that you don't know to just be objective and be outside the frame, outside the picture, and be like, nah, bro, like you're wrong. And I'm been there, and that was me, and look where I am now, sort of thing. But it doesn't, it's not something you receive in the beginning, because in the beginning, I was just like, man, I'm right, I'm justified. She did this, and she, and I'm doing all the things right. But eventually, like that gets boring because it's a lost outcome. So there's no real
Mm.
outcomes attached with the blame game, other than the blame. It's only when
Mm.
it's
That's
only when you
good.
take accountability and responsibility for your actions where you say, all right, I put myself here, like you said, I very much can take myself out of it. And then you ask yourself, what do I have to do to put myself in a better position so that I don't turn out or the outcomes that I want to get, I get from
Mm.
my own efforts, as
Mm.
opposed to, feeling entitled to the point where other people dictate your outcomes for you. And that's what I received on the prayer line. We both spoken about this openly, Jah. You know what I mean? And it just takes time where you're just immersed in a reflective position intentionally because you know that, all right, I'm trying. My efforts are not yielding the results that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
You know, so now I'm saying, all right, what can I do different to get a different result? This definition of insanity. Doing the exact same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So now I have to do something different. And for me, the different was I'm gonna just tap into the prayer line. I'm gonna tap into God. My dad's a pastor. I'm there in Crump for 20 plus years, seeing him on the prayer line at school while we're working, knowing his talking to guys about the prayer line. But it's only when you reach your bottom where you're like, all right, I surrender it all. I'm trying to figure this thing out for myself. Let's try God's way because my way clearly ain't happening. And then you just begin to enlighten yourself. And then there's little nuggets that you heard guys say. If you're in the frame, you can't see it. All those mantras that replay in your mind. You start to process, and you're like, these things actually mean something, and they actually work because the people
Yeah.
around me are bearing the fruits of the attempts that they make to take a different path. So that's kind of how I was processing things in an intellectual level, and then eventually I started to just yearn for that space. You yearn to be around people who can enhance you and make you better. Iron sharpens iron. And that's
Yeah.
really what it comes down to.
Yeah. So, John, man, tell us, how did you get to that first place of fully accepting it and then initiating the change?
Uh, well, I guess I'll pick up with Chiz just left off that just that yearning,
Yeah.
right? Just
Mm.
that yearning. We kind of touched on it, on the pod, but I think I skipped a part, but it was really just that yearning, just me knowing. First off, I know I wasn't that dude
Mm,
like that. I wanted so much better for myself. Why? Because I knew I was
Mm.
so much better than that. So
Okay. That's good.
the first thing I'm gonna do, of course, is submit myself to who I deem as just wise men, right?
right.
Shout out to Dunk. Dunk is somebody that I trust. Dunk is
Mm.
somebody that I love.
Mm-hmm.
Dunk introduced me to the line.
Mm.
So if I love this dude, if I trust this dude,
This can
I'm
lead you in the right direction.
exactly. So
Thanks.
of course, when I come to the line, my guard is not really up. Of course, I'm peeping game. I'm in the back because that's just what I do. That's who I am.
Mm.
And it was, I ain't gonna front. EO checked me one time
Yeah.
because he heard the it was it was a little, I guess, a little pepper in it. I wasn't giving it all the way. You feel me? But
Yeah.
yo, check me. And I was like, okay, it's love here. Because they
Mm,
want the best for me. They not just trying to hit me like, okay, yeah, they on my side. Nah, they wasn't jacking. He checked me.
mm,
And it was that, just like Chiz said, it was just that yearning for better. Like I
Yeah.
said before, I came across that verse, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness.
come
Blessed,
on, man.
invoke or confer. Divine. What does divine mean? Excellent, delightful favor of or from God. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. Like I really
Mm,
wanted, I don't just say like I really wanted that because I wasn't this guy that just did my wife or did my love. Like my kids is her behind it. Then I
Mm,
got a whole other side to this that I can't even really talk about. I didn't want to be this guy. So I
mm,
totally committed myself because I
mm.
trusted Dunk and I trusted the men on that line that I don't even know.
But
But I
John,
knew God was
I
leading
want you
me in the
to,
right direction.
yeah, but I want you to double down on what you said, man. You said two things that I think are powerful that I think is questions as men we got to ask. And I think it's for us who trying to help men, right? We got to ask them these questions. Either they asking themselves this question or we got to ask them. You said, I know this is not me. Like you had this conviction. You was like, I know this is not me, and I want better for myself. And I think that's where it's like before we even start, like, is this really you? And do you actually want? You have a burning desire to want better for yourself. Because in Chizzy explaining his situation, I think that's true. He was like, I know this is not me,
yeah.
and I want better for myself. And you was like, no, you actually said it. You was like, I know this is not me, and I want better for myself. But you also slipped up something yet in there, young lion. I see that backdrop. You know what I'm saying? You also said something else. You know what I'm saying? You said you spoke that word. You spoke that word. You started interpreting words in the Bible. So you did have a rim of word to work from. And I want you to kind of open that up too, because shit is like my dad was a pastor. He's hearing me on the line. He literally saw me on the line since 2014. Chili saw me with his own eyes, right?
Mhm.
So we had word in us. And I think a lot of men got to get back to, yes, you know, you follow this guy. Yes, you read this book about the 48 laws and the 52 steps and the 10 steps to, but you got to get that word in you.
Yeah.
Where did that start for you, Ja? Where, yes, I recognize I'm asking, this ain't me. I want better for myself. But where did the word, where you speak in scripture, when did that start?
That started, well, it's rooted. Let's start where it's rooted from, right? I grew up going to church.
Okay.
I grew up in the church, as I got older, just like many, I kind of just faded away, started doing my own thing,
Right.
involved in the streets and all this extra stuff. But I always had that foundation. I always
Mm,
believed in God. I never did not believe in, I always believed in God. I always
mm,
leaned on him. And it was like when everything happened, I did what I did. That was like I really want to say my only option because
Mm.
it got so bad. It got to a point where I started to lose everything. I
mm,
ain't talk about my wife, my kids. I'm talking about like my job, like the resources, the people around, like everything. I
mm,
went almost a year without working.
mm,
Who else am I gonna lean on? I'm not gonna call mom and pops. Like I done moved to the A. Like I ain't going back.
mm,
I started to really lean. And this is around the time I started to wake up at 2:30, 2:30 in the morning, because I had to be to work by like 6, 7. So I said, I'm gonna give myself enough time to just to see if he gonna answer.
mm,
It
Right.
was one time I tried different, I ain't gonna lie, I tried Allah. I tried different things, but I mean, I never felt the feeling
Yeah.
like the way I prayed, like on a foundation level.
mm.
And the more I did that, it was like the more I would receive, right? First of all, I ain't gonna shade over this how God kept me a whole year without working.
Come
And I
on.
got a whole mortgage, bills,
Mm,
wife, kids.
Right.
mm,
That wasn't me. So it
mm,
was like every situation, every time I prayed, it was just like my faith was being fortified.
Mm.
It's so yeah, that's where that stemmed from. Just me
Mm.
getting up 2:30 faithfully every morning. I will pull up, I will leave my house and I will pull up to my church where it's like total isolation. 2:30, completely quiet, no cars, no nothing. I received the most, I don't even know what you want to call it.
Mm.
I received the most answers, the most insight, just with that, just craving out that time.
Mhm.
And it brought me to where I'm at, like a dog. Everything I've been through fortified my faith and strengthened it.
Mm.
So why would you stop doing something that strengthens that got you as strong as you are now? Why would you stop doing something that proved itself to be right every single time?
Mm.
I just want to chime in a little bit and say that the consistency component is something that I think the people that's watching have to make a priority as well. Because even though we, all of us made a decision one day for better, every day is a decision for better. It's not like you just wake up and you just have all the answers and the resources are there. It's like nurturing a baby. When a baby
Mm.
is first born, it's close to the mother. Again, your sustenance directly from the source. You know what I'm saying? And as you progress, as a baby gets older, you can kind of glean more from mom, and they're able to go into the world, and the nutrients and everything that they have is a reflection of how they conduct themselves once they latch. They don't latch
Mm.
from mom. And so, what I want to encourage people, yourself, myself, you even, Crumb, and the people watching, is like, you gotta stay consistent with that nutrients, with that sustenance,
Come
because
on.
as you leave the nest, as you leave that closeness that you had with your mom, and I'm using mom obviously loosely from a reference perspective. um, the attacks, it's gonna require a lot more sustenance. It's almost like
Mm.
you gotta store it. As the Bible says, hide it in your heart so you won't sin against thee, right? You gotta store it up so that when you move around in this planet and you move around outside of your home base, you have things that you could draw from. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So that's kind of where I'm at with it right now too. Is like, all right, what do I have to put in my arsenal, in my pocket, on my side, in my pocket, so that when I walk out in the street, you're like, I'm equipped. You know what I'm saying? I got my Bible, I got my shield, I got my sword. So I'm ready for the battle. You know what I'm saying? And the battles get greater the more you immerse yourself in the process, as we know.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And as you progress through life, as you progress through the things that we're aspiring to have, the things that we're aspiring to do, that's also when the attacks become greater, because
Mm.
now the self-serving parts of it starts to play out, and all of these ideas that you have about yourself. So for me, because I feel like I'm the guy already, I have to be consciously putting things in my space so that when I rise to a particular level, that I'm still able to be humbled by where my grounding is, and it doesn't become about me, and it doesn't
Mm.
become about the amount of likes I have and how many
Come on.
subscribers we have on Boy Man
Mm.
King, and how many people are watching Jah's The Voices, Instagram, all this followers, because those things kind of become idols to us. And I'm getting a little preachy here, but I'm gonna go from a tangent for a little bit. Like it becomes the things that people look to us for, and so we now start to say that this is still our efforts, and our efforts are putting stuff, and our efforts are giving us all this stuff, but really it
Mm.
truly is not. Well,
Mm.
blessed so that we could bless others. You feel what I'm saying? So it's important to keep that grounding. And like you
Mm.
said, like we yearn for it. We yearn for it because the people in your corner is gonna be like, nah, bruh. Crump tell you what he's saying. We ain't doing nothing goofy. I don't care how important you get. You're
Yeah.
always gonna be my brethren. I'm always gonna hold you accountable. I'm always gonna be like, yo,
Yeah.
pull back. Remember where we came from and why we're doing this. It's not about you. It's about everybody
Yeah.
else. You feel what I'm saying? So,
And man, I thank you guys so much for sharing. You both reminded me like, well, we take John the work that you done, bro. What you should share was golden.
Yep.
Like what you shared about when you getting up with God that time in the morning, just to see what he got to say, 3 o'clock, and you making sure you getting away in isolation, that you taking that time before you go to work, that God sustains you without employment for a year. Like Chili, you talking about the work you put on nurture on a more regular basis. My pastor says that God is when it comes to spiritual development, God is enough, but Sunday isn't. That so
Yep.
many people think like because I go to church on Sunday, I'm good, bro. That just a hit. You good for the hour, for 2 hours, for
And
3.
look, let me tell you, my dad is a pastor. So in
Mm,
my mind, realistically speaking, I figured I'm covered, like, because I'm seeing the church, I've been around in my entire life. So to a degree, there was a level of apathy that came with just being me, my daddy, the son of a pastor, the son of somebody who's been immersed in church. And to me, that you could easily skate under the radar and
mm,
justify a lot of behaviors in your own mind because you know, like in a way, yeah, I'm better than that guy because I get it. I go church Sunday. I'm in youth group Friday night. My dad is a pastor, and I know the word a little bit. He don't know nothing. Like his older dude, he's wilding in these streets. So I'm better than him. But at the same time,
mm,
I'm worse off because I should know better. You feel what I'm
mm.
saying? I should be functioning better. You know,
Yeah.
so
And comparison is the thief of all joy.
yeah.
John, just to go back to you. I remember when I was young, married. I'm like, none of my homies was married, taking care of their kids. I was in my 20s, and I had so much entitlement in my heart towards my wife. And I would keep having entitlement because I'm comparing myself to my cousin them who out here whoring in the streets. And she was like, she really helped me with this. I'm not married to your cousin them. I'm married to you. And they didn't make the vow. You did. And it's like, you got to have people check you along the way because you be making up stuff in your head because you be comparing the Joneses and you be feeling some type of way that people should just treat you. Well, here's the truth as a mature man. And I see you both as mature men. It is an honor to be a man who can help other people. Like we forget that. We forget that it's an honor to go back and help a young bull. It's an honor to help a young teenager. I could tell you the joy that overcomes Chisholm when he works with, like he still works with young people to this day because you
Yeah,
know they need your help. And the only way they get help is because you being in the gap and being in a position to really
yeah,
pour some wisdom in them for real, for real. When they look back, they're like, remember that thing you said? That one thing you said, man, that helped me go through a whole season in my life. And we get so caught up on me being so needed. That's why I say, as men, need less, love more, because it's going to help you find yourself. Because you start being caught in comparison and what you feel like you deserve. You got no joy in your heart. You got all that resentment built in you. You got no joy. Man, I tell every man, bro, shout out to the young lion with the background again. Man, watch Bob Marley one more time. Watch it 2 more times. When he give you the yes, I and just I want to bless the people. I went to the Muhammad Ali Center with my son. We went to Louisville, Kentucky. He had a tournament this weekend. We got back late last night. But I was like, bro, we coming to Louisville, Kentucky. You got to go to the Muhammad Ali Center. And you don't realize he has no idea who Muhammad Ali really is. We do, but so I was like, he's like the athlete of the century, bro. He's not the athlete of the century. He's not. My son's 14 years old, 15 years old, about to be 15 this summer. He's not processing who Muhammad Ali really is until we go to the Muhammad Ali Center and go down those 5 floors and look at all those videos and look at all and he's like, I didn't realize he was that significant in the world. I just knew him as a boxer. I just saw clips on TikTok as a boxer, and it's like, nah, look. And he saw the humanitarian. And the quotes he was saying about even while he had Parkinson's disease is like, we forget you already blessed, champ, young lion. You already blessed. You got food, shelter, transportation, resources, and loved ones. You want more stuff? Okay, cool. You want more clout? Okay, it's cool. You want more resources? Okay, cool. But remember, you are already blessed more than 99% of the world. You know what I mean? So remember, you got so much more in you to give. And in giving, you really find yourself. So when I was at the King Conference, like I was speechless because I'm like, Jah, this was a thought in my head, man. Men need to get safe spaces. Men need to have like it was like God going back to Chizzy allowed this to be fulfilled for somebody else to benefit. Like I'm on the energy so much, bro. I'm almost like watching my wife, my kids, watching. I can die and be a happy man. Like there shouldn't be no more. Like I'm getting to a place where I'm trying to get it all out of me, bro. And I'm like, as the graze is kicking in, I'm like, God, man, thank you for letting me see this moment. Like, thank you for letting my kids mature. Like they about to be independent. My wife is walking to her fullness of who she is. And I'm like, man, it's been 22 years working. But God, I'm sleeping good at night. I wasn't sleeping good when I was your age, John. I wasn't sleeping good at all. And I struggled with sleep for years. But now that I'm in my 40s, it's like, yeah, I'm sleeping good at night because I've stopped being so needy. Because what I'm not telling you is I was so needy and entitled all that time that God had to show me right in COVID. People start dying and getting sick. Bro, you already blessed. You trying to get the next thing. Remember what you already got. Get that to people, man. What you already got, just start giving it to people. And then all of a sudden, I'm back to getting poured into. People just showing up, people just showing love. But I focus on not what I'm not getting, what I'm not giving. So yeah, I want to just share that with you guys, man. You guys are already powerful right where you are, man.
Nah, I would see that. Geez, that was a dang. Is there a rewind button on this thing?
No, because men, we need to know sometimes this is what life has taught me. We struggle to know our worth. You know, I can't speak to women, but guys do be feeling deep down, man, is my life significant? Like, am I really important? Am I really loved? Am I really worth love? Like, bro, you are already. I want to tell you two, you already. Chizzy been pouring into the community for 20 years, bro. Jah, you are blessing people. Jah, the voice, you speaking now all over the country. Now you got your own platform and you raising a family as a young black man in America in your 20s. Man, if you don't stop playing, you better be giving to so many people. But it's important for you to know that because if you question it, you're gonna be in and out. You question it, you're gonna be double dutching. You question, you're not gonna be consistent. You question it, you're not gonna invest because you're like, I don't know. No, I need you to know, bro. It's a lot in you that you can help a lot of people right now with what you have right today. Like if nothing else don't come to you, man, you done blessed 10 times fold your life. Just bless some more. You know what I'm saying? So I just want you guys to know that.
And I think the exploration of finding purpose through God is the critical piece to even being able to know that what you have is and what your gift is to bless others. But I think that's a big piece because it's one thing to be charitable, be philanthropic. You know what I'm saying? But when you really tap into your why and your purpose, I'm talking about your God purpose. Like that's a different level. That's a different level of love. That's a different level of purpose. That's a different level of why you do what you do. You know what I mean? I'm been immersed in this book. I probably said it before. I'm gonna probably be the first guy to advocate for a book club for men, for being honest, because it's insightful to be able to read something and you want to share it with people and you want to be able to have others have a shared experience with you. I'm reading The Power and Purpose of a Woman. I think I'm misquoting the title by Dr. Miles Monroe, right? And it goes into why men were created, why women are created, to set the basis for, understanding the purpose of yourself and understanding the purpose of a woman and a wife and how God. And it blew my mind today. I was sitting there reading a good 20, 30 pages before I came online. And I had to share it, with my mental health coach. And she was like, yeah. And I'm just sitting there in awe because there's so much that we don't even understand about the female aspect of why women have kind of been poised to be subservient and how that's all a fallacy and how, so it's just blowing my mind. So if you have a good time, if you want to have a good read to understand the power and purpose and understanding of a woman by Dr. Miles Monroe, I think there's a male version as well. So I'm going to read
both
next.
versions. And I would say do the three.
Trifecta.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Do the purpose and power of prayer, purpose and power of men, and purpose and power of women. Like all
yeah,
three of those are incredible reads.
incredible. I know I'm sitting there in tears, job, because I'm like, I had never seen the spirit man broken down in the way that it's broken down. It's not like gender is only defined to house a man and God's spirit. So the purpose of a man is for love, and our purpose is to give love, and a woman's love is the purpose is to receive love. And it's not, and there's no dominion. The only thing we have dominion over is the earth and the animals. So this whole notion that women have to be subservient to men, all these fallacies that are now being portrayed and played out in popular culture is completely, completely false. And so to hear Chris, talk about love and why when you get to a particular place in your life, when you find your purpose, giving through love of your man, love of your wife, love of everybody is the sole reason why we do what we do. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It all makes sense. It comes full circle when you have that understanding that your purpose is solely to give love. And that's why we here with her. We're a reflection of God's creation. We are a reflection, we're supposed to be a reflection of God to man and to the earth. And so, but yeah, man, outside of my rant, good read, but it's insightful. I think I'm gonna start a man's book club. To be honest, people's trying to get laugh about it. Women do book
Nah,
clubs all
man,
the
I think
time.
it's needed. I think it's a prophetic moment. I
Yeah,
agree. I think you should do it.
we could do it. We could
Ja,
be constructive.
Ja, as a young man, like how are you with knowing already you powerful? Already you got a lot to give. Already you got a lot of love. Like, how are you with that battle of comparison, not feeling good enough, old enough, wise enough, resourceful enough, or nah, man, I'm super good. I'm super ready. I'm super grateful and thankful and looking forward to giving and pouring into other people. Like, where are you in that battle at this stage in your life?
Yeah, that last part. That last part. I think it's like yeah, I'm there. I'm not gonna front, I'm not gonna like a couple. Had you asked me that a couple months ago, it would have been an age thing. But I remember what Chiz had said back on the actual recording of the pod. Age ain't nothing but a number that says how long you've been on this earth.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, had you asked me a couple months ago, it would have been a matter of age. Like I ain't old enough yet. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let the wise be wise, right? Let the older guys.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing that stood out to me that a lot of people look over in the book of Job, right? It was the youngest man. It was the youngest one that spoke the most wisdom. And he said, wisdom is not given at age, but by the Spirit of God.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I always pick up on that. And I think now, like, and I ain't gonna lie, I almost got questioned on what I feel God has commissioned me to do. I was this close
Mm-hmm.
with everything that had transpired recently. But it was just this knowing in me. And I don't want to sound like nothing crazy. It was just this knowing that I believe every human being got, male, female, whatever, that nah, this is what you're supposed to be doing, and this is what you're supposed to be doing now. Because I also coach high school football. I
Hey,
just
shout out to
left
the coach,
practice.
man.
You know,
Yeah.
I just left practice.
Let me guess. Running back and DB.
Oh no, it's the ding. Yeah. Mainly DBs, but yeah, with the swing backs and all, but mainly cornerback safeties. But it's something special. Like every time the season ends, I be telling wifey like, man, like I'm glad that the season's kind of over because I get to spend this time with you. But like
And
those
you
my
missed it.
guys, like you know
Yeah,
what I
there's
mean?
my guy. I love it.
Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
miss
yeah.
them, they be missing me. Like it's just and I'll be doing it so unconsciously, right? I know what I'm doing. I know I'm giving life. I know I'm speaking life to them. But if anybody knows me, like knows me, I'm really introverted,
Right.
right? I'm laid back, cool, calm, collected about Pete here and there. But when it's time to speak, I'll speak. And I think that's what I picked up with my players that are coached. Cause it's I don't know if it's the age thing because I'm the youngest coach and we're close in age, or if it's really just, and I'm starting to lean on, it's really the blessing, the
True.
gift of God. Because just like y'all said, and I say it all the time, like your gift ain't your gift. Like your gift ain't for you. Your gift is for them. Your gift is for
Mm,
somebody that's probably far off down the line that's not even watching you, that's
come
not
on,
commenting, that's not liking, they not saying nothing.
come on.
But they need you, they need your words. And it's like the feedback that I get from these players, I can't put a price on it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I would
man, we
never.
need you so much. I want to encourage you, bro. We need you so much in the young people space. A young
Because
man walking integrity like yourself, they see themselves, bro.
he a 20s
That's
doing
why
what you
you
do,
relate
like,
so
come
much.
on, man. Yeah,
Like they
man, for
they see
sure.
themselves. They're like, oh, it's possible. It's
Yeah.
possible to be a young black man and have
Let's
wife and kids. It's possible to
Do
have
the
your
right
family
thing.
together. Like it's possible. Yeah, football is football. We can do that,
Mhm.
right? We can always do anything. Talking ball, that's easy for us. But
Right.
seeing a man that you admire, bruh, that's
I think
priceless.
that's I think that's what it is too, because they look up to me as like that big brother, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I always, yo, bro, yo, top. I speak they like, yo, twin, what up? What are we doing?
Yeah.
So it's like, and even if I don't always have the words, I show just by actions. I
Mm.
show by action, and I think a lot of times I heard something recently how people they can spit game. They got a good tongue game, right? But they
Pause.
don't really back up polls. They don't really back up it. I gotta do that. They don't really back it up with actions. They
Mm.
could teach you, they could tell you something, but they don't have the action. And when I heard that, I realized I said I'm kind of like the reverse. Like you
Mhm.
could look at my life and you could see the fruit. Like you could look at what I do and see the results. Like I may
Mm.
not tell you what to do, but if you just watch me, and I believe those players, they watch me a lot. I bring my kids with me. My
Yeah.
son, my son, my son came home the other day with a whole paper written in script. And we know they don't even teach cursive in school no more.
Right.
I'm like, yo, Kai, I said, yo, Kai, they taught you how to write in script in school? He said, nah, you did, Daddy. And in my head, I'm thinking, I know I never taught this boy how to write a script a day in my life.
Mm.
He said, I saw you. I said, oh, he's picking up on what I do
Yeah.
Mm.
and not what I tell him.
Mm.
Facts.
So I'm like, that's essential. Like I said, the way I walk, just man, I love these boys. Every time I second guess myself about going another season because I want to do something else, it's just them needed because I don't just coach. I coach in Bankhead in Atlanta.
Right.
They
Mm.
ain't got no fathers. People getting shot. They homies like and that's real relatable with me. So it
Mm.
kind of hurts me, like just to eat, just the off season. I'm not around. I can't help them. I know they crying out for help. These dudes they bringing their brother home because moms at they go these kids go through so much.
Mm.
Pops is locked up. They got another man in the crib trying to tell them what to do. Now they come to football practice. They trying to find their identity. It's a lot, but just me being as a man, like coming from where they come from and understanding, like I made it out. Like I ain't stayed and none of Brook. I love Brooklyn, New York, but I made
Mm.
it out.
Mm.
Like I could tell you how to stay focused. I could tell you the road I took. I could tell you there's more than these four walls of Bankhead or downtown. There's more, and they need
Mm.
guys like us just to continuously pour into them.
Mm.
It's something I believe that every young person has an innate desire to attach themselves to a positive person, in our case, black man, no matter
Mm.
what environment they come from. That is not normal. And even though we normalize it and they may normalize their existence in that space, when somebody like yourself, myself, Crump shows up and they see themselves through us, that's infectious for them, and it causes something. It stirs up something inside them that they yearn for, and to me, I can only it's something that God instills in all children, everybody, that they need to attach themselves to somebody or something, as we knew, that can give them what they desire in terms of their personal development. So to hear you speak about the experiences you're having in Bankhead, in these kids that are in this hypersensitive and hyper volatile environments, the environments they come from. It's an amazing work that you're doing, man. And shout out to you for the work that you're doing. I just want to have a little plug here. Jaw's episode is today on Boy Man King podcast, man. If you haven't seen it, check it out. We're definitely gonna have him come back for part
Yeah.
two.
And make sure
Oh,
you
yeah,
like
we
and
got to.
subscribe too, man.
Yes, for
Got
Subscribe to
sure.
the
Gotta
platform,
have you
man.
come back on part two, man. Check it out
Got
on,
to, man.
on our platform. This is an amazing, powerful, young brother, a family man, a husband, a father, an imperfect man like all of us who are just, and we're just endeavoring to leave the world and to leave our mark and to do what we can to empower people that we encounter on a daily basis. And it's not easy.
And Jah, thank you, Chizzy. And Jah, let the people know how they can find out about you, where they can follow you, and let us know anything and everything you got going on in the world of Jah, the voice.
Hey, everywhere, Jah the Voice. Instagram, YouTube, you can find me, Jah the Voice, www.jahthevoice.com. I got some stuff coming. I said I was coming out with a program. I actually got the opportunity to do it at the school that I'm coaching. So I'm gonna do it with that small group.
Okay.
And I think I might stick there. I might stick around there for a while and try to see if I can implement something there just with the young men. So
And let me stop you there, bro. As somebody who's done multiple programs for boys in multiple
yeah.
schools and sports, it is imperative. I'm speaking at an engagement, right? I'm asked to speak in New York next month for 7,000. And they wanted my data from my school from 10 years ago to work with me further than that. So I'm not saying you do it for that, but I'm saying the opportunity is coming to you later in life.
Keep stats.
People not just going to want to know, did you do a program? What they want to really want to know is, did you get results? Did the boys' life change? So when I tell you right where you are, it's all the opportunity you need. I always share this aspect about me, E.T.'s story in particular, because he did the GED program in Alabama for free. He was working with the local boys who got dropped out of high school. He did that for free for like 10 years. And then he did the Advantage program in Michigan State for free every Monday night for kids who are usually first year dropout, first generation college students for Black and brown communities. He did that for like, he just stopped showing up 2 years, so he did that for over 10 years. And that's where he met CJ, while he was doing free workshops every Monday for kids who struggle to stay in college and to come back the next year. So I say it to you because I know who you admire. I know the work you want to do, but the ground, the front lines, when me and Chizzy was on the front lines for years in different capacities, like that is where the real work is. And when you get to a stage where people want to know, like, well, how did you do it? How many years? What happened to them once they transitioned out of high school? Because I could speak to that like this, because I had middle school boys, I had high school boys, I worked with college. So it's like, would you be willing to come in and consult our company to talk us about how you get what I'm saying? So it's like, there's future opportunities. Or people want to know is, how did you take them, not just keep them safe, no disrespect, not just make them feel seen, not just get connected to a mentor. How did you get them to go from their current reality to a preferred reality? How long did it take? What obstacles did you overcome? What was the commonalities? What was the theme? What was the demographic? How much resources did you use? How much time did it take? And you want to be able to go, got it. Whether the boy's in Buckhead, whether he's in DeKalb, whether he's in, I was able to get this boy, boom. I was able to get him to go, boom. I was able to get him. Now this one was different because he was in foster care. This was different because I had to go to the boys' home and government assistant. This was different because his mama got killed in a car accident. So I'm able to speak to so many scenarios because I was on that front line work, doing that trench work, and Chizzy could speak to that for years, helping every single boy and every type of boy, gang-related, suburban, private school. We had every type. So it's like, I know what I do works because I worked it for so long with so many types of kids. And I said it to you, somebody's like, I'm trying my program here. Nah, man, sit in that seat, go all in on making sure you don't just have a program, but that program works. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I just wanted to
It's
say
pretty
that to
much.
you because some of you guys be like, oh, let me go here, let me go. Like, it's not like that with developing people. You can't hop all over the place. You
Yeah.
got, you got. Sometimes you got to spend a whole year with kids just to get their trust to compete and fight and show up for you. Me and Chizzy had kids showing up because they couldn't wait to see it, not because they like school. The boys didn't like school at all, but they saw
Right.
the way we kept showing up, so they kept showing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that's
I wanted to say that to you, bro.
Yeah, man. I
that's
mean,
for
again, offline, we could talk a little bit more about structures, about collecting data, about surveys, about making sure you get your data sorted so you can tell the story. So eventually, if it gets to a point where the program builds, you know what I mean. You want to be able to go to a donor and say, "Hey, this is what I do. This is how long I've been doing it. This is how many kids I service." So it comes down to when you're jumping into that space, telling the story and capturing all that information is vital to the success of the program. So that
Yeah, so John, just for you to know, like Chizzy ran an organization for helping underprivileged 18 to 35-year-olds, and he got a $250,000 grant,
yeah,
right, to help him run that program for years. And I raised over $300,000 in just 2 years for my boys. So when we're speaking this, we're not just speaking this like, hey man, I got an idea. It's like, no, you got to show people that you got what we call quantifiable and qualifiable data,
mhm,
that qualitative data that shows that it actually works. So it's like, man, we'll write you a check for 100 grand, man. Keep going, young bull. Put it in 2 more schools. So it's just like it's important to understand. I gotta show that I'm a professional, I'm
yeah,
consistent, I connect and build trust with kids, and then I get kids to alter their mindset and behavior, and they
so
get
much
different
program.
results because of my program was
Yeah,
intervened in their
and
lives.
and
And
the
that
and the
right
rea-
there is
yeah,
gold.
and also the reality. There's a harsh reality that comes with being a black man doing certain programs as well. You know what I mean? So we have to demonstrate probably a little bit more than our counterparts because just what it is. When you talk about trying to secure funding and you're talking about telling the story, sometimes what you say might fall on deaf ears. So the level of professionalism for us has to be at a higher level just because, just to get us in the door in certain areas. So just think about that as well in terms of how you want to progress and how you want to articulate what your program is and what it serves. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, because you're still a conceptual, like fall in love with the work, bro. I finished with that. Just fall in love with doing that work. You're not even trying, hey, can I put it here? Can I fall in love with the work? Fall in love with the kids, fall in love with getting them results. And then people will just start coming to you, bro. People are watching. We talked about this. People are
yeah.
watching. As they see your kids it's cool, you got results. Oh man, you made it through. Oh man, you overcame. Man, that's nice, man. I'm proud of you. Go ahead, black man. When you start helping other people get results, like, hold up. All right, now I need to invite you to a lunch. I need to bring you over to this mixer. I need to talk to you about, I want to have a phone conversation with you. I got some things I want to present
yeah,
to you. You know what I mean? So it's important just to understand this. The part of your career is like, man, these kids love me, these kids love me, these kids love me. There's a vibe there. Talk to your wife, but also say, how can I get results for them?
yeah.
Like all of them, like every last one of them. How
This
can I
could
get
change this
results
this
for them?
this could change the trajectory of everything, bro. When you start being in schools and you're relatable and the kids are drawn to you as an individual, a young black man who wants to service and support the development of young black men, like this could blow out of the water. Next thing you know, you wake up 5 years down the road and your programs are in different schools, and you're able to qualitatively show teachers how direct youth engagement shifts how they even show up in class and all of that type of stuff. And they're coming to you for resources. They're coming to you saying, John, I got this kid, I need to get him in your program. And because I see the work that you're doing with somebody else and I see how it's functioning, not just in school, but outside school. So it could really, really, really change a lot and change its trajectory. But like Crum said, like the work itself is so rewarding. I miss it, if I'm being honest. I miss it. And it's so impactful and it's necessary in our communities for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy you say that. We got to wrap this call up, but I do want to say this, man. Because it's important we had this conversation. It is so important that we have real talk like this because I do the same thing, Chizzy. I actually miss being on the front lines, job. I actually miss being in
Mhm.
the school with the teams. Like I actually miss it. It's like my life and my children's situation right now, as they transition to adulthood, I'm so needed to help them navigate that, right?
Mhm.
And then, just my current business model. But like, bro, when my kids are out, like, and I got 4 years and, time flies. I definitely see me back in the schools, helping
Facts.
kids, bro. I just have, it's part of who I am. I always been on the front lines and I don't care if I'm in my 40s. Like you can't
Mhm.
replace, like you could go get a job and make some money. You can't replace like watching kids develop and watching your relationship with that kid change that kid's life. Like the world may not put a big price tag on it, but when you get to a certain place where you done got money and it's just money, like it's a lot of cliche stuff that people say, but take it from somebody who done made six figures for 10 years.
And then
Take
you
it
can
from
take it from
somebody who
somebody
done
who
traveled to
did it
30.
for
Yeah,
free for a number of years, just because, you know what I'm saying? It's still either way, the outcomes are the same and the rewards are the same. You know what I mean? So
bruh.
yeah, it's
So
but
don't like you already a very rich man to have those kids trust. Like you
facts.
are God for whatever reason blessed you to be able to connect to the hearts of kids who are hurting. It
Mhm.
is an honorable duty for you to carry them through that season of their life in a way that takes them to the other side, whatever that is for you.
For sure.
And so don't look at it like, yeah, I think I'm gonna stay like I don't even want you to have that energy no more. I want you to be like, man, God has even allowed me to have a connection with kids.
Mhm.
Your swag, your physical abilities of having your limbs and being able to connect, with your communication skills and just the fact that you're urban and you're young and they can see themselves in you. Like that is an honor for God to choose you, bro. Like, so now it's like, okay, it's a vibe, it's a relationship, it's a rapport. How can I move the needle in their life now? Like that's the next wave for me.
Yeah.
Before we end this, I'm gonna say this. This year, this pack, I've been coaching it for about 4 years. I think this will be my fifth or maybe my fourth year. This past year, we as a collective coaching, right? We sent away the most. The most this year is the year most athletes got scholarships.
Yeah.
We
Mm,
sent most athletes
congratulations,
go.
man.
And
That's what's up, man.
he like I don't post things like stuff like that on my social media, as look what we did or I'm just man to man or coach to player. I'm proud of you. Like I know we played a part in that. But
Mm,
everything both of y'all just said is like, no, that's the fruit. Like that's the reward. That's the fulfillment.
mm,
Yeah, capture that, man. Capture that information, capture that data, tell those stories, because that's gonna bolster your program. That's gonna keep you motivated. That's gonna keep your guys motivated. That's gonna keep your students motivated. That's gonna keep everybody motivated because you prove that you couldn't. You know what I'm saying? That's undeniable. You know what I mean? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
man. Man,
congratulations.
I love it for you, bro. Thank you so much, man. Look, follow the Boy Man King
Yes,
podcast.
sir.
Man, make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube page. Man, Jah the Voice, man, bro. Thank you so much. Chizzy, what you
Yes, sir.
got for the people before we tap out, man? Anything you want to share with the people?
Hey man, I'm still on this journey to become a registered consular, man. I'm about to get into this program in September, so I'm gonna do the only culture still I'm still downloading and putting videos out. I'm about to send some merch out, so I have to do some branding. So look for your boy on Instagram, Chizzy BDA, TikTok and Instagram. Looking forward to King Kong 2025. You know what I mean? But
The boys applying pressure.
yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man. But look, man, we'll appreciate you. Job, man. Thank you so
Appreciate you,
much.
job,
We'll
man.
appreciate you, Chizzy. And look,
Yes, sir.
man, y'all know what it is when it comes to this. The journey
It
continues.
continues.
Man, y'all be
Love.
blessed. So I stopped the recording. Let me turn off on live. My bad, my
Yeah,
bad. Hold on.
it's cool.
Yeah, there it is.